Let me ask you something honest. If you took 2 weeks off right now, not a working vacation, not checking your phone every 20 minutes, actually off, no approvals, no decisions, no calls, what breaks? Think about that for a second, because most operators I talk to can answer that question immediately. They know exactly what falls apart. They know which client gets dropped. They know which team member freezes. They know which revenue stops coming in. And the thing is, they've known it for a while. They just haven't done anything about it. Today, we're going to change that, because there's a specific way to diagnose whether your business can actually survive without you. And more importantly, there's a framework to fix it. This is one of the most important conversations you can have as an operator. Let's get into it. Before we go any further, if you are building a business, running a team, or trying to create something that outlasts your direct involvement in it, hit subscribe. This show is not about hype. It is not about motivation. It is operator thinking, the kind of thinking that separates businesses that scale from operators who just stay stuck. Welcome to Notebook of a COO. There are two trends happening in the business world right now that are colliding in a really interesting way. The first one is AI. Everybody is talking about it. How to use it, how to automate with it, how to build systems powered by it. The second one is acquisition. Business buying and selling is at an all-time high in the small business space. Operators like Cody Sanchez have built entire audiences around the idea that buying and owning businesses is one of the most underrated wealth strategies available right now. And here's the thing those two trends have in common. Neither one works if your business is completely dependent on you. You cannot automate a business that runs on your personality. You cannot sell a business that falls apart when you step away. And you cannot scale something that is essentially a really demanding job that you created for yourself. So today, we are doing the diagnostic. We are running your business through a simple framework that tells you exactly where you stand and exactly what needs to change. Here's the uncomfortable truth that most operators already feel but rarely say out loud. The thing that made your business successful is probably also the thing that is holding it hostage. You, your relationships, your instincts, your ability to jump in and fix things, your clients who specifically chose you, your team who asks you everything because you always have the answer. You built it, you earned it, and now, without realizing it, you are the single point of failure in your own operation. And that is not a character flaw. That is just what happens when driven people build businesses without building systems. But here is why this matters more right now than it ever has before. We are entering an era where business value is being measured differently. Investors are not just looking at your revenue. They are looking at whether your business operates without its owner. Buyers want transferable systems, not talent-dependent outcomes. And AI tools can now replace a significant portion of what most founders do manually, but only if there is a system underneath it to plug into. If your business depends on you to run, you do not have a business. You have a self-employed situation with overhead. Drop a comment right now if that hit a little close to home, because I know I am not the only one who has been there, and I want to know how many of you are building this exact thing right now. This is what I call the Operator Independence Audit. 5 questions, honest answers. Your score tells you exactly where you are. Question 1. Can your business generate revenue without you initiating it? Not with you on a sales call, not with you following up on leads, not with you doing the outreach. Without you initiating it. This is the first test of business independence, and most small businesses fail it immediately because the lead generation, the outreach, the conversion, it all runs through the founder. What you are looking for here is a documented, repeatable lead process that your team can run or that your systems can run automatically, a funnel that works while you sleep, a follow-up sequence that does not require you to write every email, a referral system that generates inbound without you working the room. If the answer to this question is no, revenue stops when you stop. That is a ceiling, and it is sitting right above your head. Ask yourself honestly, what would have to be true for a lead to go from discovery to close without me personally involved at every step? That answer is your build list. Question 2. Can your team make decisions without your approval? This one is a little uncomfortable because it touches something most founders hold tight: control. Here's how to diagnose it. Think about the last 5 decisions your team brought to you. Were any of those decisions something they should have been able to make themselves with the right framework in place? If your team is coming to you for things that have a clear right answer, that is not a people problem. That is a documentation problem. They do not have a decision tree. They do not have a standard operating procedure. They do not have a defined scope of authority that tells them which calls are theirs to make. And every time they come to you for a decision they could have made themselves, you are not just losing time. You are reinforcing the habit that you are the answer to every question. The fix is not to stop caring about quality. It is to document what good looks like well enough that your team can execute it without running it by you first. Drop a comment if your team asks you the same questions on repeat. That is the clearest signal that you have a documentation gap, not a team gap. Question 3. Does your client relationship live in a system or in your head? This one matters enormously for anyone thinking about the long-term value of their business. If your clients chose you because of you specifically, your business has what acquirers call key person risk, meaning the value walks out the door when you do. Now that is fine in the short term. Reputation and relationships are real competitive advantages, but if you want to scale, exit, or even just take a real vacation, your client relationships need to live somewhere transferable. That means documented preferences. That means a CRM with real notes, not just contact info. That means an onboarding process that does not require your personal introduction to go smoothly. That means service delivery standards that your team can execute at the same level you would. The question is simple. If you handed your top 5 clients to someone else on your team tomorrow, would the experience change? If the answer is yes, there is work to do. Question 4. Is your fulfillment process documented or is it just done? Most operators know how to deliver their service. They have done it hundreds of times. They are really good at it. But knowing how to do something and having a system for doing it are two very different things. When fulfillment lives in your head, every delivery is a custom job. Every client gets a slightly different experience. Every team member improvises, and quality is only consistent when you are watching. When fulfillment lives in a system, it is repeatable, it is trainable, it is scalable, and it does not require your presence to produce a good outcome. The test here is this. Could you bring a new person onto your team, hand them your fulfillment documentation, and have them deliver your service at an acceptable standard within 2 weeks? If the answer is no, that is where your next 30 days of operational work lives. Question 5. What would actually break in the first 72 hours if you disappeared? This is the final question and the most revealing one. Not 2 weeks, not a month. 72 hours. What breaks first? Is it lead follow-up, client communication, internal team coordination, cash management, scheduling? Whatever breaks first is your most urgent systems gap. It is also the clearest sign of where your business has the most dependency on you personally. The operators who build businesses that are sellable, scalable, and survivable all do the same thing. They find what breaks first. They build a system around it. Then they find the next thing, and they do that on repeat until the business can run a full operating cycle without them in the room. That is not a one-time project. That is a discipline. And the operators who treat it like one are the ones who eventually get to choose whether they stay in their business because they want to or because they have to. Here is your action step coming out of today. Run the audit. 5 questions. Write your answers down. Do not do this in your head. Actually, write it down. 1. Can your business generate revenue without you initiating it? 2. Can your team make decisions without your approval? 3. Does your client relationship live in a system or in your head? 4. Is your fulfillment process documented or just done? 5. What breaks in the first 72 hours if you disappear? Every no is a build target. Every honest answer is a roadmap. You are not trying to remove yourself from the business overnight. You are trying to move from being the foundation of the business to being the owner of it. That shift does not happen all at once. It happens one documented process at a time. And if you want a structured way to actually do this work, this is exactly the kind of operational framework we build inside the Operator Hub and go deep on inside the Operator Academy. The links are in the description. Go check it out. I will leave you with this. The most valuable businesses in the world share one thing. They do not need any one person to operate. Not the founder, not the top performer, not the person who built the thing from nothing. They run on systems, culture, and documented processes. And that is not cold or corporate. That is freedom. Freedom for you to grow it. Freedom for you to step away from it. Freedom for you to sell it if you want to. Or freedom to just know that the thing you built is real, not just a reflection of how hard you personally work. That is the goal. That is what operators build toward. If this episode gave you something you needed to hear today, share it with one person who is building something, because this kind of thinking is rare and the people around you deserve access to it. Subscribe if you have not already. Leave a comment telling me which of the 5 questions hit hardest for you. I read every single one. Wherever you are, that is exactly where you are supposed to be. But that does not mean you have to stay there. Until next time.